Patch 25.19 has been live for a few days now, with buffs to these champions, nerfs to these champions, and a few other system changes. Let's see how it's changed the meta. Starting in the top lane, Jax has got a pretty nice buff, with him being much tankier when he ultimates. This said, he was already S tier and he's definitely staying there. The only change we have of tier list is Cassio going up to S tier. More people are playing her top recently, and with her win rate going over 52%, she just seems like a beast. With only a small change, the top 3 remain the same. In the jungle, Pantheon's going down to C tier. He's a gank heavy jungler and they've made his clear speed take longer, which means fewer ganks. And if he's not able to gank as much as other junglers, then he really is going to fall behind. On a similar note, Poppy is also losing clear speed, which will knock her down to B tier. Once again, she loves ganking and will now be able to do it a bit less. Brand's buffs are very nice, giving him a bit of a faster clear along with more scaling. His kit with lacking mobility does make it more difficult for him to become an S tier jungler until his damage gets truly ridiculous, so he's just going to be a solid A tier. And the final change moves Lilia up to A tier. And these are such strong buffs, if it does become a tank meta, I can easily see her reaching S tier. All these changes, however, don't really affect the top 3. Entering the mid lane, we do see why the patch just before the Worlds tournament is always a touch more questionable, where they often buff exciting and popular champions regardless of balance. Ahri is getting a massive amount more damage on her ultimate, which moves her up to S tier with ease. Her level 6 power spike will just hit like a truck. Also, LeBlanc's buffs are pretty outstanding, buffing the main ability she levels, and she's now also S tier. Brand's buffs are nice, but similar to jungle, he will just stay A tier, and we do still see them struggling to balance Mel. She is a fairly weak champion, and these buffs probably still keep her B tier, but it still seems they're a long way off balancing her massive ban rate, as she's just not fun to play into. Top 3 wise, my main Morgana is finally getting the spotlight she deserves. She absolutely does it all, easily making her a top 3 champion. Entering the bot lane, talking about champions who have been buffed just for Worlds, we have Jinx. She is already a monster of an S tier pick, and this makes her even stronger. But hey, they've specifically said they want to make her strong so she's played at Worlds, so that's a way to do it. Otherwise, Kate's buff is nice, but she's still a solid A tier. And Draven's massive buffs will knock him up to A tier, although the best Dravens will be able to use this to make him feel even more impressive. Otherwise, Sivir was hit with some pretty solid nerfs, however I do think she still stays S tier. Sivir will fall out of the top 3, however Ashe, Smolder and Miss Fortune have all been monsters recently. However, Ashe does slightly beat them out. Looking at supports, Sarah has been buffed, which is actually pretty strong on her ability of W. This does seem like a pretty massive survivability change during the laning phase, moving her up to A tier. Otherwise, the main nerfs are to Redemption and Unsealed Spellbook, and this hurts a lot of champions like Rakan, Ali, Blitz, Rell and Braum, who all take these. I'm going to move both Ali and Bard down to B tier, but a lot of the other champions already mentioned are already down here. However, we can expect champions like Braum and Rell to move away from Unsealed Spellbook to more tankier options. Top 3 wise, Milio, Vel'Koz and Nami all still remain top.